Hello there and welcome. My name is Jimmy Wikman, and on my channel here I talk about my passions with our ways of working and Atlassian, of course. And Atlassian is what I want to delve into a little bit deeper today, and because I want to talk about customer service management, one of the new apps in the service collection that was available to me this week, and I have of course purchased it, and I have been playing around with it a little bit. So in this video I'm going to talk to you about my opinions on it, of the current state of customer service management, and also give you a little bit of hints on things that you shouldn't do at the moment because there are some nasty bugs, and also give you my first impressions of how this one looks, how it feels, and where I think it can actually be used. So I'm thinking, like always, the best thing is to see things right away. So let's jump into my Atlassian platform and let me show you what it looks like for real. So this is now inside of my Jira instance, and as you can see, I now have the Spaces name here, and I have created a new customer service management project. But just for the purpose of showing the process for that one, I will create a new space. And when you do this, you will see that we now have a new version for this one. And you will have the opportunity here now to, and it will be the same as when you create any other project, basically, because that is what you are doing. You're creating a Jira project here, or Jira space, sorry, we should use the new term. So I use the template, and like before, you can have the name and the key. So nothing is different here, and you can even use the share settings with an existing project. Now this is where I want to caution you a little bit, because for some reason there's no filtering on this list. So if I do this, you will see that I have a bunch of projects here. They are all customer service management and Jira Service Management and regular Jira projects, which means that if I select one of these, that is a Jira Service Management project, which is what I did when I first created this one, just to get the same configurations, it doesn't work because it will then select configurations the wrong way, and for some reason I will create a Jira Service Management project type, and it will actually brick the setup. So I won't continue with this one. After this one, we will just create the project itself. So nothing is different here. I just caution you about this one. Do not choose a project for this one when you first set it up until you know that this bug has actually been resolved. And when you've done that, you will get one of these projects, and you will have a new onboarding experience, which I will do another video for. So now we can make custom onboarding experiences for different areas. I will tell you a little bit about how this one works. You will have your queues, but you can see these are all the items now connected to this project. Oh, sorry, this space. It will take a while for me to get used to calling it a space. Anyway, if you compare this to, for example, a JSM project here, you will see I have a ton more things that is actually part of this one. And the reason for that one is that the customer service management project here, if we go to the space settings, you will actually see that there's a lot less configurations here because you have a lot less functionality. So that is why it will look a little bit different. So this template is not just how the functionality is working. This is even what functionality is even available to it. So just be aware of that one. So if you are expecting a ton of features here, then if you look at features, for example, if you go to Jira Service Management, you have like 20 of them here. Here there's only one. And this one is a very interesting one that I will talk about a little bit later. So once you have created the space, it works basically the same as Jira Service Management. You have your queues here. You can see your tickets. You can create your queues. You can have your list board calendar views. Just like normal. Nothing is actually different about it. What you need to do then is you need to connect this to an experience. This is the new part of customer service management. So at the bottom here you can see that I have customer experiences. This is now what will take your reduced Jira Service Management project that you now have in the Customer Service Management space, and you will super boost it a little bit. So once you click on the customer experiences, you can now create an experience, and I have already done this. And as you can see, I have two. And this one is the one that is in use, that is connected to this one. This one I created the wrong way. So this one I created with the Jira Service Management project configuration attached when I created it. And this one is now completely dead. I cannot do anything with this experience. It is bricked. You can never get rid of this one, so I have to create a ticket now for Atlassian to ask them to help me remove this one. So this is why when you create a new space, make sure you connect it then to a Customer Service Management space, not a Jira Service Management, or a Jira for that matter. But when you have created it the correct way, you will actually get a new configuration. So this is what, for me, Customer Service Management is. So what it is, it's a new set of configurations that you can use, and this one is used to create now the new portal and the new way of actually interacting with the customer. And the first thing that we will have are details, so you can set a name for it. This is what you see here, obviously. And you can also see then access to the project is what actually determines who can see this, as it seems. And right now you will also have only one linked space. At least as I can see, I haven't found any other way to actually add more spaces, more spaces to this experience. And I think that is something that we need. And the reason for that one is, even though, remember, the Customer Service Management portal is not meant for multiple tiers of support. Okay, so this is the front that we are exposing to our customers, and those are usually used by first line support. So usually you have one entry point. And for most users that are small to medium, maybe one portal and one space will be enough. But if you are a larger organization and you have multiple departments that interact with international customers, for example, then you might need to have, or I would say that you must have, multiple spaces connected to one portal. This is what Refined is doing so well, because it can mix and match the different request types to actually give a unified experience to the customer that can actually sort out the tickets to any space on the back end. And this is exactly what we need, and right now we don't have it. And this is only being linked to one space. But I wonder if that is what the end goal is here, because remember, what we are looking at is work in progress. And for me, this is an MVP with a very hard focus on minimal. This should be improved a lot better later on. And the reason I'm saying I'm not sure if this is actually how the end goal will be is because if we go to forms next, so this is an unfortunate naming, and because yes, you are creating different forms, but these are basically your request types. Because what you are doing is you create a form. So this one, for example, you have your fields, and this one is now saying which space is this connected to. And even though I have multiple Customer Service Management products, I can only find one. And you connect it then to issue type. So if you compare this with how Jira Service Management is working, this is basically how you do with request types. So you create a request type, you connect it then to the data that you want to have, basically the form, and then this one is then connected to a work item. So in this case, it still says issue type, which is weird. I'm guessing they missed that one. So I don't like the fact that this is referred to as forms, because my biggest gripe with this one, or the biggest thing that I don't like, is that they are completely bypassing, they are ignoring the good functionality that we have in Jira Service Management, which is to use the forms editor. which is basically allowing you to create any form you want without creating custom fields. In this way, they have gone the other route, or maybe they haven't gotten around to actually implementing the proper forms. Because for me, the idea of sitting here and dragging custom fields and you have only the base information, it sucks, to be honest. I hate this with Jira Service Management, the old one before we got forms, because the user experience is so bad for this one, and the technical cost for doing this is so high because custom fields will have a high impact on performance. And even though cloud is a SaaS product, I don't want to sit there and impacting everyone else on my instance there, because I have 5,984 custom fields, because everyone in my organization want to have their own values. So I think the implementation of this one is wrong. Or that it is not where it should be. First and foremost, these are not forms you're dealing with. These are request types that you're dealing with. So you should rename these ones and have them unified with the same language that we use in your service management, or change them if you want that, and just call both of them forms. And then make sure that you are using the form editor for this one. I actually think that if you are going to have this one viable for the future, remove this functionality to drag and drop fields altogether and just use the forms editor and have everything then connected to forms the same way across all boards. I understand the simplicity of just dragging custom fields in and just giving some basic information. But from my experience, this will just lead to an insane amount of custom fields to bring in data that no one uses in the database, that they only need to actually process a request. After that one, that information is never useful anymore. So for that reason, I don't like the implementation of forms. And I will show you also in the ticket that this one is actually their own object, just like the forms editor is in Jira Service Management. So there should not be any technical issue to actually change this. So this one is very simple to work with. This is absolutely minimal. So this one can be improved. For articles, I like this implementation. I like how it works. I can now see everything that I've connected. I've connected my Confluence space to this. I can now look at the article directly. I can change it. I can edit it. I can delete it if I want that one. I can see also the different information about it. I can add labels if I want to. I like this one. I can even create new articles, but it will take you directly to Confluence. I wish I did not have to do that. I wish I could actually be here. But that's overall, this one is great. Great overview, and you can find the information that you want. Branding is like Jira Service Management, minimal, unfortunately. You can upload a logo, a little tile, which is basically used to show, up here, you can see basically the tile. That's the only place I found it. And you can add a brand color. And the brand color will affect your site quite heavily. So I put mine to neutral just because it looks better for me that way. They need to add more functionality for color changes here. I will show that when we come to the portal. And when we come to the channels there, you have two. So let's start with the simplest one. Email, same thing that you have in Jira Service Management. You can create one, an Atlassian, add an external. You can edit the information, you can view the logs. Just the same as you have in Jira Service Management. For the support website, on the other hand, this is new. So you have then the possibility to create a URL here. So this one is great. So you can actually set whatever URL you want. If I do this, maybe we can see it. Now you can see it, the whole. And you can also copy it so you can go directly. You can preview the website and you can customize the website. And you have a preview here on the side, and it is, because I zoomed in, it doesn't show very well, but we'll go to that one soon. And then this is what I think is a little bit weird. This is that you will have, on the portal, you will have a landing page. And then from the landing page, you have to go to a contact page. So this is exactly what Jira Service Management is doing if you have more than one portal connected to it. But by default, if you have only one portal connected, then it will just show the list of your request types, or rather the request type groups. And this is not true here. So you have a landing page first, and then you have one contact page. So this is a little bit, I don't know why this is, why we cannot choose this ourselves. But I'm hoping that we can change this later on, and so you don't need to have a separate contact page. It sounds a little bit weird. And then you can have a chat widget, which is the customer service agent. I like this one actually. And you can turn this one on or off. And if you turn it off, you will have a search bar as standard in your top banner here. And if you activate it, it will now have, and you can select the layout for this one. So if I select that one, then it will actually not show up there at all. I prefer this one. I like this one. So this is where you can actually have your customer service agent. And the customer service agent is unique for each experience. And they are not a Rovo agent. You cannot find them in Studio at the moment. So this is where you customize this one. You also have the ability then to preview your website, which is great. So you can actually see what it looks like. And you can customize it. If you customize it, you come to Studio. And again, you cannot find this view if you go directly to Studio. It doesn't exist yet. So you have to go through the customer experience to go to the correct view in Studio. So that is just so you are aware. If you're not doing what I did, I went to Studio and tried to find it, and it was not there. You will also see that we have pages here. So pages are kind of like the landing pages that you have in Jira Service Management, and they have no connections whatsoever with the portal that you're doing, the support website. And when you create it, you have a name and a purpose. That's all. And this one, when we go to it, I will show it later on. It's basically just an empty container. So it's kind of like what you have for this view. So this is kind of the template that you get. And then you can build whatever you want, but it does not have, let me just show it. This is basically what you get. So this is the title of it, this is, and then you have, yeah, it's blank basically. And this is fine, and what is not fine for me is that you have an ID here. For SEO purposes, for customer experience, not having an actual name, because you can easily take the title for this one, or allow me to set a title for it. This one is not very good, and I don't think this is a great experience. It's also difficult to work with, because this one, like I said, has no connection whatsoever with your portal. So you have to manually link them together. So that is a bad thing, I think. So what I would like, if I could, is that I would like to be able to build a hierarchy. So if I want to build a site, basically, with multiple information, I would like to be able to create this automatically, create a nested site for here. So I can have a new site, a new page, and I can connect this to this one and say this is now a sub page of this page. And then it will automatically happen on the front end. This is not happening today. So if I create a new page, you will see they will just end up in the list here. I cannot do anything with them other than just going to it. So this is something I think can be improved. On one hand, I don't mind the idea of being able to create manual pages and as containers. But it would be nice also to be able to set up a hierarchy, a structure, and connect them to a navigation of sorts. But maybe this will be a separate function in the future. I don't know. Anyway, this is the channels that you have. This is what you can configure here. For the customer access, you only have two choices here beyond what you can set then in the customer service management space. But you can basically have, so you can connect it to an organization, which means that everyone that you manually put into an organization will have access to it. This is great if you want to have this one specifically for one customer, then you could create an organization for it, and you can define who have access through that organization. Or you can make it publicly available if you want to have one portal for basically the public. The customer service agent, like I said, this one is unique for every experience, and this one you can then go to the studio to edit, and we'll do that a little bit later after I show the portal. But basically you have kind of a Rovo agent that is customized, that is specifically set up for this purpose. And it's pretty nice. I have no complaints about that one whatsoever. And then customer notifications, you'll recognize these from Jira Service Management. So you will have the different templates here, so you can actually change how it will actually work and what kind of information is in each of the different notifications. And of course you have the templates where you now can have HTML, CSS, which is really nice. So you can build basically anything you want here. So I like that one. One thing I've noted though is that at the moment, when you get a notification, this variable is actually broken. It will actually just print out $sign portal name. And that is one of the bugs that I have to report also to Atlassian. But these are basically all the configurations that you can make. So if I go now then to the portal itself, so I've just thrown a few things in here. So this is now the chat experience. So if I ask a question here, it will give me now the little agent here that will discuss this one with me. And it will work pretty nicely. I can also reduce it if I want. And it will now fetch different options for me. So you can have a conversation here. It will fetch data from the sources that you have connected and so on. So I like this one. It is a nice option for this one. I have also connected something to Confluence here, and it's not really working very well. It automatically brought in my folders. So maybe I should just show you the edit mode here to explain. But before I do that, you will see the branding here. This is now my logo. You will see up here, I will have that little square that I actually set up. And the branding here is, I will actually show you the difference here. Since I have it in white, and this one will now look very clean. And these objects, the top one here, and these ones, and the contact is standard when you are creating it. So I have only added this one just to test a few things out. But you will notice there is no way to contact me on this page by default. There is no list of my tickets, nothing like that. So in default, you have to click on contact. So you see I'm in help center contact. And now I will come then to the subpage contact us. And this at the moment will only output the forms, which are the request types in a list. When I do this, it will show the form. This is, for me, this one barely is visible anymore, and that this is the one that I need to change if I want to have another form. It's very poor in implementation, and compared to both the standard implementation of Jira Service Management and also the way Refine do it, for example, which is an excellent way of doing it, where I can actually have different categories here and stuff like that. This is the bare minimum that you need to have, and I think this can be improved a lot. Because this one is very sad, and most users, based on my experience and other people's testing, this is difficult for them to navigate. Once they have selected a form, basically no one understands how to get back to it. So you either need to make this more prominent to make sure that people understand this is where you actually select a new form, or you need to have some way to go back where I can actually see what kind of help I can get. And having things in a drop list like that, from a UI perspective, it's very difficult to actually understand which one of these are what. And it puts a lot of pressure on the team and that are in the space to actually name these forms or request types that I believe that they are properly, because if the naming is very short, like you have here, there's no way for the users to actually know what they are. So that is why the way Refine do it, for example, and I will continue using Refine because they are the best option still, I think, for building good portals, is that they will have both the title, they will have an icon for it, and they will have a short description. So this will make it a lot easier for the users to understand what kind of request I'm actually submitting. And if you are using the form editor properly, this one will be far more easier to actually work with, to actually give more instructions, to even fetch in information from other sources, to actually deflect a lot of functionality. One more thing that you should be aware of, you can no longer use the automation the automated function. So if I start typing something, it will fetch now information from Confluence to actually deflect information or deflect form fillings here, because nothing happens. It will never trigger anything. It will not fetch anything. So this is one function I miss, and I would really like to have this one added because it does work, and having this one will actually improve the customer experience, so they can actually self-help and find things based on articles that have already been written. There is also no way in this one to actually bring in a status page. I think that is also something that could be good. You cannot put in any banner on the form itself. You cannot actually manipulate the form at all, because it would be very nice if I can have, for example, someone wants to submit an incident for a product that I'm using, for example, that one of my customers is using. And when they select the incident for that particular platform, for that product, or for that app, depending on your naming, then I can show information saying that we are aware that there's an incident for this one at the moment, so you don't need to submit a ticket. That is not possible here. So there's a lot of things that can be done to improve the request type, or forms as they call it in customer service management. And this one is very, very, very basic, and it needs to have a ton of love on this page. And for me, what I would like to see is also the ability to add, like they have in Refine, sorry for talking about Refine all the time, but the way they do it is they can bring in request types, present it basically on any page that you want, and you can also have a list of your tickets any way you want. And before I go into edit mode, I want to show you what I consider to be a heinous crime to all portals everywhere. I'm sorry, team behind customer service management, but we need to work on this one, because this little list here, this is where you will actually find your tickets. And this has to be, it is not even minimum. It is, I could do this myself with a WebSocket setup and local storage in 10 minutes. This one needs to be improved a lot. This is not a good experience. So the request will actually be extremely limited at the moment. So if you don't need anything more than this, and your organizations are fine with having this limited view, then you're good to go. For me, this is nowhere near what I need. And while you can have the card here, you should also be aware there are only two statuses at the moment, it seems, for a ticket: submitted and resolved. Whatever workflow you have on the inside is completely ignored. So if I look at this one, for example, I don't know, from a UI perspective, this makes me sad. This is basically all the information that you have. So you have a summary with some weird boxes that I don't want. I would like to have this one a little bit cleaner. And then we have the conversation. So if I typing a reply. So this is what it looks like, and it's very cramped. It is I don't know, the UI is not good for me. I don't like this one. It can be improved a lot, and as you can see here, I have an ID, I have a date, and it is status submitted, and then I have a share functionality. I don't know if sharing here will actually give this person access to it, if I can see it or anything like that. I haven't actually tested it, but I'm assuming that it will work the same way. And the question is just, if I add someone here, if I add 20 people to this one, which is not uncommon to some companies that they want to have everyone involved, where do they actually show up? Because they will be in a list here, so you can't even see who I am actually communicating with, or they will take up a lot of space here. So I don't know. I can close it. This looks so basic, so I don't even know where to start. This needs to be improved. I think this is a very poor experience. This does not feel like an enterprise product. And just to show you even worse, so let me take collaboration here, for example. So this one will now take me to Confluence, and since this is a folder, I cannot see anything. So this is now what it looks like. Maybe I should take A3 instead, so we can have, when I have actually a banner on it, this one. So this is what it looks like when I have, when I go through a page in Confluence, just clicking through it if I have linked it. And if I this is what it will look like. Let's do. If I do just any search here, you will see that it will basically take some snippets. I cannot actually read the whole thing. It will just give me, and this one was actually cut. So this is the same page, but you saw when I searched for it here, it will actually cut it. So, and now the link is white. So yeah, let me just say that there are some things that this one needs to be fixing. And if you do a cutoff like this, you should have the ellipses here to actually see that there's more content here. Otherwise, it looks like I've just cut something off. I haven't finished writing it. So the search is also in need of some love. It works fine to actually find the information that I'm looking for, but it often only shows one source, and like I said, this one is because the color I've selected is white. You can't even see this one. So this one needs to be a little bit adjusted, I think. So I can actually, this is, if I only have one, why don't I show the whole thing, for example? Or at least do an ellipsis here so I can see that there's more. Anyway, search needs a little bit more of love. And let me just show you then. So if I go to edit mode, so I can go here. If I am in the front end, I can go to edit site. Or if I am on the back side, I can click on the customize website. So it will bring you to the same place. So edit site here will now bring you into studio, and you will be in home. And this is where you have your pages now, so you can change which one you want. And if I do the same here, I will actually open the same view. So you will get to the same place. So if I go back here, so we have, this is now where we have the full portal. So the page topper here is some kind of standard that I cannot actually change. And the unlike what you can do in Confluence, and the same thing if you are comparing it to Refined, is that there are very, very, very few options that you can make for these ones. So for this one, for example, I can now, let's start by changing the settings that we had for branding here. So right now I have it in white. If I want to change the whole branding, I can do that here, and I can select another one. And this one is a little bit bugged, so sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. So what should we have? Let's have some salmon thing like that. Now you will see it will add then to basically anything. So anything that have this this color attached to it will actually show up like this. And if I say that, okay, I don't want this one to be the branding color, I would like to have this another color, and I will click then on the pen, you will see I have no functionality to change that at all. And this is true for basically everywhere. You will have very few options to actually customize anything, which I am hoping that they are working on. What I can do so far is I can actually change the width of it, which is nice. But I can change the text and I can change the corners. That's all. I cannot change any colors here. And the same thing if I take this one. I can have the styles here will allow me alignment, and I can set the corner style. And then I will have content here, but I cannot actually choose what content I want to have. So this one will automatically fetch the tree that you have in Confluence. And as you can see on the portal here, if you, like me, have folders, they will show nothing, and they will just show the subpages, which is a really bad implementation on this one, because if I use a folder, first and foremost, why would it show here? And if it shows, then should I not be able to open something else from it? So it is weird, and it forces you to not use folders, basically. You need to use actual pages, otherwise this one will be really bad, the experience. But also for this one, there's no way to put a background on it. And if I try, let me see if I can. This one also irritates me a little bit. Where I set the marker here, for some reason this one has been limited. So it is have this fixed width. So if I have a wider screen, it will actually look a bit weird, because this is not where I want the content to be. And sometimes I'm clicking over here, but I can't do anything over here because the content area is here. So it would be nice to draw out a little bit of where can I actually place things, so I don't have to have this problem. Or even better, let me just choose the whole width here as an editable area. Because if I add, for example, a layout, it will automatically be in the restricted content, and then I can then expand it out so it fits the whole one. So start with the full width and let me reduce it if I want, or let me do what I do in Confluence, where I can set the whole page as limited if I want. But it feels a little bit weird when I have to click somewhere and it will just be in the middle here because I have widescreen. But anyway, let me remove that one and add something here that I can actually manipulate here. So what should we add? There is a lot of macros on the other hand, which is a really good thing. So compared to what we have on the Jira Service Management portal, this is a lot more than you can have there, a lot of improvement. So if I want to do a spotlight, for example, links menu, or carousel, or cards, so if we take cards and we can compare that one to Confluence. So I haven't actually tried this one yet. But let me see if we can configure this one. So first and foremost, I want to have this one maybe not full view like that. Now on this one, I can change the background color. So if I do this in white, this one is much better. This is where I now can actually change things. Oh, sorry. General. And I can also choose, so this one works pretty much like we have it in Confluence, which is a great thing, because this one, maybe content, okay. So the bad thing here is that I cannot have it dynamically. So that would be really great if I can connect this one to Confluence like we do in the regular cards, and just have that dynamically based on a label or a section or a user and so on. Right now you have to manually create it. It's fine, I think, because that way it works like a CMS. But if I could have a wish list, then yes, I would like to have this one a little bit more dynamically also, so I can fetch information or news, for example, or something like that. Now, my biggest grief with the page topper here is that, like I said, I could not actually, now it actually bugged out. I cannot even edit it anymore. But you saw I could not actually change anything, and this one is, it is called Page Topper, which is its own unique container, its own macro, its own object. But you also have, let me see if I can show you. You also have the callout banner, which is the same component, but it is called different. And I don't understand why this one is different than this one. Why is this one? Because the Page Topper is a callout banner, and I don't get it. It confuses the crap out of me why we have different things. And yeah, so the functionality that you have here and the things that you can work with are great. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that we can have all of these macros here and that they are reusing what we have in Confluence already. So I can actually bring out a ton of things. What I don't like is that there are so limited functionality to actually adjust them visually, because the purpose of having a CMS is to make them visually appealing. And right now you can't, because a lot of the components will just fetch one color that you set, which is often not the color that you actually want to have in these components. And since you cannot override them, you cannot add backgrounds, color backgrounds, gradients, nothing like that. This one becomes a very meh experience, even though they have great functionality to actually bring out all these things. So this is where I think there is great opportunity for improvement. Now then, with that said, I will discard the changes. So this is now how we can work with the form. You've seen how we work with, we can add different things. You've seen the order that is let's not talk about it. I feel horrible just thinking about it. So let's move over now to the customer service agent. So each of them, like I said, gets their own agent. And if we added them in the studio, you will see that we have these kinds of configuration for it. So the overview here will tell you then what kind of functionality you have. If you're working with Rovo agents, you're familiar with this one already. So the identity is where you set the different naming for it. The knowledge will tell you then what can you connect, what kind of information should you have. For me, I connected it to my my personal website, and for my official support Confluence page. And you can connect whatever you want, just like you do with Rovo. You can add some responses and handoffs if you want to have like a step-by-step guide. You can, of course, use the actions functionality if you want. So if you want to get into this one, you can do that. I haven't even started doing this one yet. And you can also have different handoffs, and so you can say what the agent will do at certain points. And of course, you will have some reporting on it, and you will also have some conversation review here. So you can see my information here. And you can also, of course, adjust this one, and then when you're done, you can publish it, and you can also see your versions here. So really nice setup for this one, and you will have one for each experience, as I understand it. So that is basically what customer service management is. So if we summarize it, you will get you need to set up a new customer service management project, which is a Jira Service Management project with a specific template that have reduced functionality. You need to connect that space. Sorry, I'm still saying project here. You need to connect that customer service management space to a customer experience, so we can actually connect those two. And then you need to work with forms here rather than working with the request types in the customer service management space. And then you need to brand it and set everything up. And then you have on top of that one, if you want to use it, you don't have to, you will have the customer service agent that you can then connect here, and you can actually have this one as your conversational agent with your customers. That's basically what you get. A nice new version of the portal, a service agent, and a new way of creating the customer service management spaces. So let's talk a little bit seriously then. Well, is this great? Is this amazing? No, it's not. It is a very good MVP. It is not enterprise grade, I would say. The fact that I can break it in 2 different places already within 24 hours of actually getting my hands on it, and that's sad. And the fact that the most important part of a customer service experience, which is the front-facing part, which is this is what the customer will see, this is the how we will deal with the communication in the tickets, is the least evolved in my opinion. It is confusing to have request types and forms doing the same thing. And it is difficult to understand the choice not to use the forms editor that you have in Jira Service Management, which is the superior product, which is the way, the modern way to actually build forms in a request type. It is also very sad to see that the front-end part of the tickets is extremely poor, and that the fact that I do not get any information basically from the ticket into the portal. So the status is submitted and resolved. That's all that you have. I cannot customize it, I can change it. And that is the sad part. The good part is that they have a good beginning now for a nice portal, and they have pages, and if they can just throw in a navigation here, if I can work with the portal more like a CMS, which I think is on the horizon, I think that's going to be amazing. I love the agent and the way that it has been shown. I wish I could change a little bit of the language so it doesn't say ask anything, so I can actually customize that one. I don't know if I can, I haven't found it yet. But overall it is a nice product. I would not throw it into production for another year, perhaps 6 months to a year minimum, because there are still bugs and there are still functionality that I think is not where it should be for an enterprise tool. If you have customer service, if you need to set up things for customers today, I would say use the Jira Service Management, use the premium version, set up multiple portals, or even better yet, use the Refined, that is still far the superior product when it comes to CMS and visualizing the front end. I haven't tested, I couldn't see if I had access to actually any asset fields. I'm assuming that that one should work. That would be interesting because in Refined, for example, you have to manipulate, you have to set up a user for it to actually be able to get asset information into the portal. So I will look into that one next and see exactly what can I do with this one. So overall, great MVP, not really something I would use in production, at least not for any larger company. For a small company, absolutely, you can do that. It's a great way to do it. If you have a multinational with hundreds of thousands of customers, no, I would not use this one at all at the moment. So overall, if I were to rate customer service management on a scale between 1 and 10, when 1 is it's so bad I want to gouge my eyes out, and 10 is it's so amazing I can't wait to throw all my money at it, I would rate this at a 6. I would say that there are many good things that they have here, but it's not ready yet, and it needs to go a few cycles of evaluation and to expand on the front end part especially. You can tell that they have done a lot of things on the back end, but that's not where the users are, and that's not where the user experience is, and that's on the front end. And that one is, in my opinion, as a UX designer and a CRO designer, it's abysmal. It is not near what you need to have, and it is not what I expect from a high-end enterprise tool like the Atlassian platform. So there you have it. I will reevaluate my opinion a little bit later on, and I will update you if new things comes out for the Customer Service Manager. But for now, I think that is all I have to say. So as always, the only thing that remains for me to say now is that I hope that you all have a great day and awesome week.